I'd like to acknowledge my collaborators, Professor Gary Lynch and Maurice Sim and Lorinda Lynch. And we're going to talk about cannabinoid neurotoxicity and genotoxicity today, talk about mental illness, autism, cancer, congenital anomalies, and aging. The 5 alphabets of life are disrupted by cannabis. The genomic code, 59% of the chromosomes. The epigenomic code, 20,000 hits. The histone code, the tubulin code, and the sugar code, all disrupted by cannabis. Now, the brain matures, as you're probably aware, till the mid-20s, and this is a picture of synaptic pruning going on and maturation. This is a picture of tobacco, alcohol, cannabis, and cocaine across the US. And you can see that the cannabis is concentrated in the northeast and northwest and centrally in Colorado. When you look at the mental illness, any mental illness, depressive illness, serious illness, suicidality, again, it's this northeast, northwest, central pattern. And you can show statistically those things are correlated. In most US states, the rate of autism is rising exponentially, and you can see there's a map of it across the US. Now, if you look at the high cannabis use states, the low cannabis use states are 61% more in the high cannabis use states. Now, if you look at cancer, this is on the x-axis is tobacco use rising here, and on the y-axis is cancer rate rising. And you can see for these 14 cancers, it's obviously positive. So you've got lung cancer, laryngeal cancer, all cancer, leukemia, esophageal cancer, cervical cancer. These cancers are known to be cannabis linked. Same thing for alcohol here. Again, there's 14 cancers there for alcohol. Look at last month cannabis. Again, here there's 16 cancers obviously positively trending with cannabis. And if you look at daily cannabis, the same sort of picture appears. This is the THC concentration of cannabis herb. And you can see there's about 20 cancers here positively trending with rising herb THC. And for resin content of THC, again, it's a similar pattern. Now, this is a very interesting map of Europe. This is the rising rate of THC in the herb, cannabis herb, and the rising rate of breast cancer, so that the two rise together, both covariates rise together. And as you can see here on the color plane, that the whole continent's turning pink. It's a very dramatic appearance there of cannabis and breast cancer rising together. For pancreatic cancer, it's a similar pattern. Here, the whole continent's turning purple, which has a similar meaning to the pink, as you can see up here on the color plane, where the whole continent turning purple as both cannabis and THC herb rise together. And if you look at the cancers which are more common in the high cannabis use countries, you can see that it's much more common in science. P less than 0.05 is significant, and here it's P is less than 10 to the minus 135. So it's much higher in the cannabis using high cannabis countries. And here is the number of cancers implicated by a substance. The total P value is the significance, and this is the E value, which is causality and logic and confounding. Much higher here in each case. Number of cancers, P values, and E values much higher for cannabis, and tobacco and alcohol aren't rating there. Let's look at congenital anomalies. This is a blue baby from cyanotic congenital heart disease. The guts are hanging out here, gastroschisis, a dead bowel, dead baby. This is no limbs. 2 papers here from CDC showing that limblessness is linked with cannabis, and also in Europe and America we found that. Anencephaly, this is 2 papers from America looking at no brain, and Europe showing the same thing, no anencephaly here. Holoprosencephaly, severe facial brain defects. This is tobacco. This is slide 1. So here we have the tobacco rate. Here's the various congenital anomalies, and you can see here there's about 20 congenital anomalies positive related to tobacco. This is the rest of the 90 defects that are tracked in Europe. This is last month cannabis, and most of these are positive to some extent, much more than tobacco. And here's a second slide of that. Daily cannabis use, again, even more strongly positive. There's about 50 or 60 defects linked to daily cannabis use here. The teratogenic syndromes, so you can see this is Belgium here, is strongly positive. Germany here, Bulgaria here are the positive countries, and on the bivariate map, you can see Spain and France are turning purple here as both rise together. There's Netherlands positive there for teratogenic syndromes and THC herb. A VACTERL syndrome, vertebral, anal, cardiac, tracheoesophageal, renal, and limb are rising together. That's Germany, France, Netherlands. Right here, you see black, and on the bivariate map, you see the low countries are pink, and purple is both VACTERL syndrome. All these 6 systems and this metric of cannabis rise together. Now, this is the 9 systems involved. You can see all these 9 systems are involved, and this is comparing cannabis here and tobacco and alcohol here. This is a number of congenital anomalies, the significance value, the P value here, and the E value here, and tobacco and alcohol aren't rating here, and they're much lower here on the P values, and the number of anomalies is less. Let's talk about chromosomes and some of the cellular mechanisms which produce this. Now, this is a developing notochord, the spinal cord in utero, bone morphogenetic protein and the Wnt proteins here. You can see there's gradients of these morphogens which control sonic hedgehog ventrally, bone morphogenetic Wnt dorsally, at the back of the developing embryo. This is the spinal cord. You can see these morphogen gradients specify exactly where each of these cells is going to lie. And cannabis blocks the gradients for most of these morphogens directly and epigenetically. This is human sperm, and you can see here there's a normal sperm, look like tadpoles, but on cannabis, the head is shrunken. This sperm's got 4 heads, that one's got 3 heads. They've got bent tails. Some of these sperm have 4 tails, multiple heads, shriveled up heads here, and a pus cell right there in the middle. Same thing here with the egg. This is an egg dividing. It's a chromosomal bridge forming. That's severe genetic damage, a snapshot of it actually forming. It's also an aging sign. And here you can see a cell dividing into 4. Here's one dividing into 5, and here's one dividing into 3. Grossly disorganized cell division here. And in fact, 20% of these cells die with just a single cell division. Same thing here in the mouse sperm. Here you've got a ring chromosome, there a chain chromosome. Here's chromosome pulverization and microchromosomes, all forming a severe chromosomal disruption. Now, when you add up all the defects, the birth defects that cannabis involved in and the cancers, you find all these chromosomes are implicated in direct genetic damage, which is 1,765 megabases out of 3,000 megabases in the whole human genome. 59% of the humans directly involved, known to be directly involved in cannabis genotoxicity. Let's talk about aging for a minute. There are these 20 hallmarks of aging are all accelerated in cannabis. They've got an old sperm, an old egg, and obviously the fertilized zygote is old even from the moment of conception. It's aged from the moment of conception. That's a mind-blowing concept. Now you see these 20 indices of aging. The genes, the DNA carries the switches on, the epigenetic switches, which turn the genes on and off. As you can see here, these methylation marks, which turn genes on and off and control which genes are on and which aren't. So this is cannabis in cannabis dependence. This is an epigenome-wide screen. This is brain development here and here, agenesis of the whole organism doesn't grow, growth of the organism, heart development, liver lesions. This is cannabis dependence. When you move to cannabis withdrawal, you've got the hippocampus growing here, the brain growing here. This is the blood vessels growing here. Organismal death, the death of the whole organism, learning and cognition here, which is thinking, and encephalopathies, brain development. And down here is the testis, is most commonly involved. So all these systems. Now, this is a very interesting, just published study of aging to show us why we age. There's a loss of epigenetic information in aging, which drives aging. So that the activating marks, the activate genes here, see how they're reduced from old to young, and the suppression marks that turn the genes off are also reduced from old to young, which reduces the control of the genes. This is enhancers, which turn on the promoters. And here it's nice and strict with a strong epigenetic landscape in the young, which is all eroded and all messed up. You've got a major loss of information here in the old cells. Now, this is the basic epigenetic machinery, which is shown to be disrupted and destroyed by cannabis, so that the fundamental software that controls gene expression is destroyed by cannabis. This is a genome-epigenome-wide correlation showing that for brain development here and congenital anomalies, birth defect, cancer, from 90% here to 25% of all the genes. This is the genes involved with cannabis. This is the total genes implicated. And you can see there's huge numbers of genes, thousands of genes involved in direct cannabis damage. And of course, the death rate is much higher, 30% here over 30 years in cannabis use. Now, an important point here is that a lot of these effects are exponential. So as the concentration rises, this is mutagenicity and damage to the cell. Here, you can see it rising exponentially or falling exponentially here with cell growth. And here again, with developing red cells, erythroblasts, you see exponential as the concentration rises, exponential effect with gene damage. And this here is the same thing observed with thalidomide. This exponential effect as it hits a point in the concentration rise and takes off. Now, just looking at thalidomide is known to cause 31 birth defects, and 21 of those are also noted with cannabis. Thalidomide acts in 13 different ways, and of those mechanisms, cannabis shares 12. So 90% of the ways that cannabis does it are also involved. Many cannabinoids are involved: delta 8, 9, and 10 THC, cannabidiol, cannabigerol, cannabichromine, and cannabinol. So the 5 alphabets of life are disrupted by cannabis: the genomic code, the epigenomic code, the histone and tubulin code, and the sugar code. Talked about mental illness, autism, cancer, congenital anomalies, and aging, epigenetic, transgenerational, exponential effects. Many cannabinoids are involved. Thank you for your attention.